So welcome everybody. Jerry, Martin, and I were talking about the developer meetups. So in this video, we will take you through uh, what it takes to organize the developer meetup, why you should consider joining a meetup, and our personal experiences with developer meetups and the benefits we got from it. So let's start off with our most recent developer meetup that we have joined. Maybe Martin, you can share a bit on your experience with developer meetups as maybe the first one you joined as a participant and then how that evolved.
The first one I joined as a participant actually was the first one that I organized here in Sofia because I'm living in the eastern part of Europe where we don't have that much bigger community of ServiceNow professionals, and one of my personal goals is to develop such a community. And with the things that I'm doing, I'm trying to constantly develop and try to make the people share, because we have quite a lot of people who have tons of knowledge in their head, but they're not willing to share it. So I thought maybe I need to start a meetup chapter, because I have attended a few online meetups, but it's not the same like in the in-person meetup. And the process, I reached out to Tanvi Gokil, which is the responsible person for the meetup in our part of Europe. We had a meeting or two. She shared meetup organizer guide, and she also shared a lot of resources. So the Dev program is offering actually support for you to start the meetup and for any subsequent meetup as well. So they'll be funding some stuff. They'll be sharing Slack, as you, Willem, recently did the unboxing. They will help with the promotion of the events. And what happened with me, I first wanted to attract a lot of people because this was something really new in my area. So I decided to make the first meetup online, and I have invited a quite popular guy, which is called Chuck Mazi, which is now retired. But having him on board, I have also invited Anders Show, who is another developer MVP, and having these two people lined up actually attracted a lot of people to my first meetup. And then I decided, okay, COVID is over. The online gatherings, we are having them on a daily basis in our jobs. Let's do something in person. So the second, the third, and now the fourth one is coming this month. We're actually in person, and usually we do one presentation, and then we have some networking with some drinks and food, where people can sit together, talk about ServiceNow, talk about non-ServiceNow stuff, which is also a networking camp. And this is really what I like in the meetups. Basically, a new way to join people, to exchange experience, exchange opinions, meet new people, see new viewpoints, and which is broadening your personal viewpoint.
Yeah, makes sense, and it's great initiative to see that there was not a developer meetup, and you stepped into that gap and started organizing. You said you're already on the fourth or fifth developer meetup. One's
Yeah.
virtual and the rest was in person.
Only the first one was online. The rest of them have been in person. So we had three, and now the fourth one in person is coming in a few days, in 15 days actually, at the end of this month.
Yeah, nice. And Jerry, you shared just your experience with the most recent one you joined in London, right? Can you tell us a bit about that meetup?
Yeah, sure. So it was in the first week of October. So it was a day before the World Forum in London. So it was actually on the evening before World Forum. So it was my first visit to the Dev Meetup, and obviously this year was quite special because we had the advocate developers. We had Earl and Lauren, and some of the ServiceNow community members also were there. So it was quite special because quite a big turnout as well. So we were actually at the London Docklands Museum, which was quite a special venue event. Again, very much of drinks, there's food, there was a lot of freebie swag as well. So we had some swag that was given out, but also as well, there was opportunity to win prizes as well. So there were games, things like quizzes. But because it's my first time to a dev meetup, because I'm not, in terms of my day-to-day role as a developer, I thought by going to those events, it was very much of, do you need to be a developer to go to those events? But absolutely not, actually. Absolutely. It was absolutely wonderful to see that particular venue and the content, the whole networking aspect. You had your developers there, but you also had business process owners there. You had also platform owners there as well. So it was quite a wide range of different variety of different roles there as well. But also the content that they do there as well. Presenting things like the Xanadu features. We had a bit of like the fun and games or the quizzes. Kind of really quizzed some of the quizzes, the questions around Xanadu, some about the advocate developers as well. So, it wasn't really all about ServiceNow in terms of the platform. It was quite a social event as well. So it was really quite a informal, relaxed environment, which was, really, really enjoyed it actually. And we also had an opportunity really to break out into two groups as well. So we had like the developer group, and then also the group where people weren't developers. They were more like business analysts, process owners, or maybe product or platform owners. And then they had some games on where the developers had to do to come up with some code that maybe the Gen AI will come up with, or the other group that don't do the developing was more around the process side, to say, right, let's come up with a process, or if there was a customer complaint, could you beat Gen AI to formalize a response back to the customer on how to deal with a complaint? So that was quite good. It's quite fun as well. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. It opened up my eyes in terms of, that when they say it's Dev Meetup, it's not just for developers, it's all for different roles within the ServiceNow community, and I really, really enjoyed it. So if there is the next one I'm going to go to, I'm definitely going to look out for that one and try and make my time to go there, because it's also good for a networking opportunity as well, because sometimes developers, we may not see each other in person. We might be able to see each other in at World Forum events or other events. But the Dev Meetup it's quite special actually. It's quite different to some of the bigger events. It's very more I would say it's more of a smaller group as well, and it's more personalized and also be able to do that social networking as well.
I like the part that you mentioned this Dev Meetup stuff, and that you were wondering whether to attend or not. When I was launching my first chapter here in Bulgaria, I decided on purpose to remove the word dev from the meetup. So I call it ServiceNow Meetup Sofia. And the only purpose for doing that is not that I don't like the development anymore, but the reason is that I want to attract more people, as you mentioned, business process consultants, some business owners. I'm even having people who are not involved in the ServiceNow environment. They are developing some stuff, some other types of software. They are attending just to see what the ServiceNow environment looks like, what are we doing in ServiceNow, and maybe get some ideas from there. And of course, they are sharing their ideas to the crowd as well.
Yeah, I mean, Martin, that's really, really good to mention that around, removing that word dev, but also as well, I think from my perspective as well, able to actually meet other developers, also get their perspectives on things that, again, if I'm having some conversations about, I'm trying this in the platform, and also just, but widening my networking horizon as well with developers. So sometimes with my networking that I meet, I might only just meet other product or platform owners or business analysts, and maybe not really much developers, but able to actually meet them in person and able to speak to them gives me a different viewpoints of, oh, right, we can try it this way, or we've got some more networking contacts. So in the future, as well. If I've got any questions or things like that, I could just reach out and ask the question, which is great, because sometimes it's also good to have the community as well to post it. But if you've got someone that you know and that you speak to more on a regular basis, I think that's quite a big, positive win, really.
And also like the things that you're pointing out, the both of you, are why we also started this YouTube channel, right? The Now Exchange 360. Martin mentioned like changing the different views, having those different roles together, and bouncing ideas of each other and getting a better view of what you can do with ServiceNow, how you should do it with ServiceNow, the art of the possible, like they say. I think that exchange is very good. Maybe to also share my story, because as you mentioned, I'm promoting the Developer Meetup that's right before the World Forum in Rotterdam. So it's this Tuesday that's coming up, to promote that a bit more. The meetups for me started in, I was fortunate enough that there were already a few ServiceNow enthusiasts that host the Developer Meetup in Amsterdam. And it's quite a drive from where I live. But I thought, yeah, this is the place to meet the ServiceNow nerds like I am. And I joined one of the first sessions, and I've seen it grow from a tiny group to now quite a large group already. And I heard the people that were hosting it in Amsterdam were already doing it for over 7 years. They've done a great job. And recently I got approached by Dhruv to start hosting in Rotterdam a special meetup for the World Forum. And possibly, if it's a success, then we're thinking of extending that to also have, next to the Amsterdam chapter, maybe also in Rotterdam. The Netherlands is not that big, so we're still figuring out a way of working. Maybe we do a city hopper style, expand also to Utrecht, where our platformation office is. We're still figuring that out, but also noticing the collaboration with the people that are hosting it in Amsterdam, the amount of help they give us in organizing this event, the amount of help that we get from ServiceNow. And of course, this one is a special one. It's close to World Forum, so they've sent out a lot more swag than usual. And I'm hoping that it's also rewarding a lot of the developers. It's not just at one moment. We see developers do a lot of great work. Has any of you joined a ServiceNow user group?
In terms of, well, when we say user group, do you mean like Snugs? So we have something in the UK for like a Snug. So we have different events in different cities during the year. Sometimes like in London, I think there's one in Edinburgh in a couple of weeks' time. Unfortunately, I can't attend, which I really wish to attend. However, I think those ServiceNow user groups are really, really good. I think they're very more localized events where they've got customers and partners that kind of really kind of talk through on their journey of what they've done, and really kind of sharing some of their success stories, but also sharing some of the pain points as well through their journey. So it's really good to actually hear that sometimes with the projects or implementations, they don't go well, but we like to hear in terms of, okay, we started this went really wrong, and this is what we did to correct it. But at the end of that, it's got a really good kind of outcome in terms of that implementation and sharing some of the value and the benefits that that particular implementation that we can really see that in terms of improving customer experience, it's improving the efficiency, but also I think it's really good to see some of the capabilities that sometimes we see on documentation, or maybe ServiceNow's provided that on a on a talk, about it, but it's really good to see a customer actually utilizing it. So we've got a baseline to say, you know what, if an organization's done it this way, right, let's take that back to our own organization, see if we can try and adopt and implement that as well.
Here locally in Bulgaria, we do not have that many ServiceNow customers, so we don't have a SNP as well, unfortunately. Maybe at some point in the future, this will be a fact, but not currently. And maybe a question back to you, Willem. Since you mentioned that you have attended multiple meetups, what are usually the topics that are being presented, that are being discussed by the panelists?
Yeah, I think maybe also to take it back a bit to the why I asked the question of the SNUGs, the ServiceNow user groups, and I think it connects to what you're saying, Martin. You didn't have the developer meetups, so you started hosting those meetups. And I like the part where you also realized, hey, there's a certain need for not just the developer meetup, but the ServiceNow meetup. And you see, I think for Jerry in the UK and here in the Netherlands, we have quite a big customer base, quite a big partner base. So I think that's also the reason why we have both the ServiceNow user groups, the SNUGs, and the developer meetups. Because I think, and that's taking it back to your question, Martin, I think the developer meetups tend to dive a little bit deeper into topics on the technical side. So, for example, GenAI, we have built with GenAI. We've done some live demos, and especially in the Amsterdam office, we are very fortunate to have Arnoud Kooi, Mr. SN Utils, there. But also the other hosts, they are very well technical skilled, have a lot of technical knowledge, and they spend a lot of their free time preparing a lot of cool labs. So Jorn has demoed a lot of the cool apps that he built. Now Arnoud Kooi, Jeroen has done. Now all of them had great sessions that go into a bit more technical detail. And as Jerry mentioned, the SNUGs is where we tend to speak about the implementation process, the pitfalls, the also the hero stories, right, where they celebrate the successes, but also openly share the doubts that they have, the roadmap items that they're looking into. So tends to be more in the business users, but it's also good to start with the meetups and then at some point split it up. And that's now also the Netherlands is not that big, so that's why we're thinking, do we also have different developer meetups chapters or not? And in Germany, a colleague of mine from Platformation, together with Laszlo, one of the other MVPs in Germany, is now setting up another chapter, and they already have, I think, 4 or 5, because Germany is way bigger, right? A big ServiceNow market.
And Laszlo is running the one in Hungary as well. So quite an active guy. Okay, so back on what you said, Willem, and maybe we can wrap it up with this. What I'm doing here is actually a combination of a meetup and a SNAP, because we had in the first session we had Anders presenting his alternative to the UI search. And then we had a colleague of mine presenting the ServiceNow ID when it was launched. The previous quarter we had a builder, but this quarter we have upgrades. And again, another colleague from my company, project manager, will be presenting and will be speaking what is the upgrade process, what are the pitfalls, what are the things that you need to have in mind, and what is the checklist and all that stuff. So more of a process talk rather than deep technical stuff. All right. Any final words? Maybe from me, join us November 28th here in Sofia, Puzzle Co-working. Everyone is invited, whoever is in the area.
Yeah, for the World Forum Rotterdam, that's the 20th of November, and the Developer Meetup in Rotterdam at the EY office, the Ernst & Young office, Big shout out to Maarten Koster for facilitating us. That's the evening of the 19th of November.
And I just want to add as well, because I'm not attending the next snug ServiceNow Use Group. There is one obviously in the UK in Edinburgh on Thursday to 28th of November. We can add some of the links into the YouTube description details. But also as well, I want to also just share as well. There is a group of us as well. We're going to be setting up a special interest group for platform owners. And also for product owners as well. So it's going to be a particular group really kind of within the UK community, within the ServiceNow community, that we want to be able to share some of our experiences or some of our best practices, because I think within the community, I would say that platform owner, product owner is quite a niche area within the community. So it's something that we're quite keen to get a group set up. We're going to start off small, and then kind of grow from there to get basically more of the customer side in terms of the experience, some of the expertise as well.
All big things have been small in the beginning, so good job.
Yeah. Thank you, Martin. William, I really liked your unboxing videos as well, because that really I think that's something that's the first time I've seen something like that within the ServiceNow community. So good job on that, and more unboxing videos as well.
Thanks. Let's see if we can share a bit of the excitement of the people receiving it on Tuesday as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Martin, Jerry. And for those of you who've been watching, if you have more topics for us to discuss, if you like the format, let us know. We're open to suggestions, and we can talk about many things. As we said, we have the 360 of experience here. I also have some guests for the next videos lined up that I will also share with Jerry and Martin as a surprise. So it's not just the three of us, it's really the 360 of the ServiceNow community that we will share with you.